Ladies and gentlemen, HSAs are fantastic. When you put money into the account, you get a tax deduction. When the money comes out, it comes out tax-free. You get double tax benefits along with a ton of other benefits, which we're going to dive into today. We're also going to touch on why on earth not more people are using it and why more people should, but not everybody, but certainly more people. We'll talk about when it makes sense and how it makes sense, and we'll also touch on FSAs as well in just a bit. But we're going to focus today on HSAs because that is the better of both of these accounts, okay? So let's dive in. Again, let's talk about what these things are. An HSA stands for Health Savings Account. It's an account, you put money into it, you get a tax deduction, and it's basically an account to help save for medical expenses, okay? So it's a bucket of money, you put money in to save for medical expenses. And there's limits on how much you can put in. Okay, if you're self-only, have a self-only plan, $4,150 or $8,300 if for families. Okay, for families. And you can actually roll over the amount over to every single year. So for example, the account can accumulate over time. There's no use or lose element to an HSA. It can accumulate. If you don't use the money that year, no problem at all. I've had clients that had tens of thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars in an HSA because they've saved and they really just didn't use it much. And so they're building up a bucket of money that can come out completely tax-free to pay for medical expenses down the road, especially in retirement when medical expenses become the most expensive part often of different parts of your life. Okay, so it's a fantastic benefit. Let's talk over the other details. And another perk is you can actually start investing your HSA funds over time as you accumulate more and more. You can actually put them into investments to get more growth. So for example, you've accumulated money in there that you know you're not going to use every year. You can get some of that invested for you to keep growing that money tax-free, which again is fantastic. Now, what expenses do HSAs cover? Well, basically, there's a long list. And if you go to FSAfeds.com, you'll get a full list of what FSAs cover. And HSAs cover all of those things, plus Medicare premiums, plus long-term care premiums, etc. Basically, there's a whole ton of things. The vast majority of things that are medical related, you can use HSAs for to pay, okay? Now, here is the kicker. This is why so many people are scared of being on an HSA. You have to have a high deductible health plan to use it. Now, don't click off the video. Hang with me for just a second, okay? Let me ask you this. When is the last time you've hit your deductible? Okay, when's the last time? Now, if you're the type of person who hits your deductible most years, then a high deductible plan probably is not going to make sense for you. Probably. Okay? But if you're one of those people that it's very rare you hit your deductible, it just doesn't really happen, then I would look into a high deductible health plan this next open season. I'm not saying it makes perfect sense for you. I don't know that, but I would at least look into it, okay? High deductible plans tend to have actually lower premiums. You get access to an HSA, and often your plan will put money into your HSA on your behalf as well. And the max out-of-pocket limit, which is basically the most you would be on the hook of paying for in a given plan year, is actually, for most high deductible plans, is actually smaller than some other plans, like the classic Blue Cross plan. It depends on the plan, though. Make sure you look it up. Most people think, oh, wow, I'm taking so much risk if I'm on a high deductible plan, but most people simply aren't. Okay, that's simply not true for most people. Okay, so all I'm asking you to do is look into it. Look into it this open season, see if a high deductible plan makes sense for you so you can access to an HSA. And the vast majority of people that decide, hey, let's give this a try, they save a whole bunch of money in premiums and they're able to save a bunch of taxes because they have the HSA, they're getting a tax deduction for it, the money comes out tax-free. It's fantastic, okay? Now, if you're, again, the type of person who you just don't want to do a high deductible plan for whatever reason, whether you can consistently hit your deductible or whatever it may be, then I would look into an FSA. It stands for Flexible Spending Account. Now, it's very similar to an HSA where you put money into the account, you get a tax deduction, and then it could come out tax-free. Okay, it's a great benefit. You can put less into it though, only $3,200 a year, and there's a number of limitations. For example, it's use or lose. You kind of have to use it up every year. The most that you can roll over is $640 per year, at least for 2024. You cannot invest the funds. There's a few less things you could use the money on, and it is tied with your job as a federal employee. So if you leave, if you retire, if you change jobs, then you can't take the FSA with you. It's tied and locked in with your job. While an HSA, you can, again, it's yours, it's completely portable, you can take it wherever. So HSAs are by far the better of the two, but again, to use an HSA, you have to have a high deductible health plan, okay, which not everyone wants to do. Okay, but otherwise you can use an FSA. So the idea with an FSA is you only want to put money in there that you're pretty confident you're going to use, because it's use or lose. So whatever you consistently pay for medical expenses, maybe look at the past few years. What if you normally paid? Stick that in there and you get a tax deduction for it. Okay, it's basically getting a discount, a tax discount on the medical expenses you would pay for anyway. So these are fantastic accounts. I would definitely look into them. Okay, worst case, you look into them and they don't make sense, no problem. But for the vast majority of federal employees, at least one of these is going to make sense so that you can save taxes, keep more of your own money, and pay for medical expenses tax-free. Okay, so I hope that's helpful, and I'll see you guys in the next video.